And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We just wrapped up with our first upper bracket semifinals matches. We had an insane upset with Cristiano coming out on top over Spirit. Can we get another upset? As we are here continuing our broadcast of the H.4.0.S Galactic Battle. I'm your host, ZvP, joined once again by Yaku of the Zaku.
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
Indeed. Yeah, continuing on with our upper bracket semifinals here, this time with a bit of a PvZ, include with one player who I think we would probably agree has previously been a King of Poland, another one who has always kind of been on the cusp of getting to that level.
Exactly. Has been the prince, not quite the king, as Gerald has been climbing the ranks here over the past year, over the past couple of years, and really cementing himself as one of the best in the region. But here we go. We're diving into game number one and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Hardlead. We have our red Polish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is Gerald.
And over here at the top left-hand corner of the map, we have our blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Poland as well, representing Team Liquid. We have Elazer, Lord.
Here we go, and again, as you were mentioning, Elazer is the best Zerg player in all of Poland. He is typically who we would expect to face off against Spirit in the finals, as the two of them do go back and forth. But upsets have already occurred. Spirit already knocked down to the lower bracket, where he has to work his way through best of ones, by the way, against Bobby of all players, so it is not going to be an easy road for Spirit, and likewise, this as well is not going to be an easy series for Elazer.
Definitely will not be. Gerald, I mean, we were kind of alluding to it earlier on. He has been a prince of Poland for quite some time. Always been somebody who's been consistently top 3 or top 4. Never quite able to, really solidify himself as the best player. But I think the past couple of years, he has, without a doubt, become the best Protoss player in all of Poland at the very least. And has been someone who we wouldn't be too surprised if he was able to take out somebody like Elazer or Spirit.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see Gerald really flex and even be showcased quite prevalently over in WTL, right? When it comes to Storm Gaming, especially when Spirit was still on the team, it was MaxPax, it was Spirit, and Gerald. They were their lineup. They were a solid lineup that allowed them to actually have a pretty good performance during the group stage at least, and it did allow Gerald to get a lot of experience and a lot of limelight in WTL, and he got some really good results as a result of being on that team, and maybe even learning under the tutelage of MaxPax a little bit as well, just being teammates with him. It's been really cool to see Gerald shine. He has actually beaten Elazer in the past. I would never say he's the favorite against Elazer, but he has done it before. Can he do it again?
Gerald's being tutored by MaxPax sounds dangerous to me. But you know what? Maybe that's what it takes. Maybe that is what is needed here to really establish himself, really take it to some of the best players in the region, and come out on top.
Oh yeah, exactly. We'll see if it does pay off, and we'll see if Gerald can really make a name for himself in this tournament and go far like he should. We'll see. For now, it is going to be just a standard opener here from Gerald. We do have a Stargate as our tech of choice, as to be expected in this matchup, and he also forced the unnatural natural out of Elazer. Elazer, of course, trying to keep up here with Gerald. We do have Adepts shading between the bases, threading the mineral lines as links are on the way.
Yeah, quite a few links are on the way. Link speed is on the way as well, and Elazer has completely pulled out of gas for the time being. He is still joining up, he is still getting that third base, but he senses a bit of an opportunity, it seems.
Oh yeah, and he has to take these Adepts seriously as well. I know you weren't here earlier, Yaku, but we casted Nurchio versus Gerald at the start of the playoffs, and there was a game where Gerald popped off. He killed like 11 drones with these two Adepts. Like, these two Adepts, they killed 11 workers, and then the Oracle came in and killed even more, and Gerald basically won game 2 off of the back of harassment. Sorry, game 1 off of the back of harassment. It was insane. And speaking of, the Oracle dives in. The Spore isn't quite done. We get 4 drone kills here at the third.
Yeah, very ballsy move here from Gerald. A couple more volleys from those queens, and this Oracle would have been absolutely toast, but it looks like he knew. He knew that with careful enough micro and with careful enough target firing, he'd be able to keep that Oracle alive and get 4 drones pretty much for free.
Ooh, exactly. It was some hull damage, but as you mentioned, the Oracle did survive. Meanwhile, across the map, Elazer did delay the third base for a moment, but only for a moment. The third is back on track, and we do have Adepts in position. They were initially harassing across the map. Now they've made it back home. Oh, we do get some good service area, though. Can we force a cancel? Up!
We do, in fact, force a cancel. Really good choke point to keep those Adepts in, but Elazer was able to find the one spot where they wouldn't have range on top of the Nexus, so this is a much more significant third base delay than earlier on.
It really is. And that was so close to a kill as well. For a moment there, I thought it was a kill. I was like, oh my god. But we do have the third base now on the way, very delayed, as you mentioned. We have thrown down faster tech as a result. It's going to be 4 gateways. We have +1 on the way with that Forge. And I imagine Blink on the horizon with that Twilight Council.
Yeah, you can't delay a tech for too much longer here if you are the Protoss player, and doubly so if you know that your third base has gotten delayed for this long. You need to start reciprocating somehow.
You really do. Speaking of, here we go. We move out with 6 Adepts. They are vanilla Adepts, and their goal here is to trade well against the Lings, to trade well against the economy. For now, we're just chipping away at the 4th base. We get eyes on the exposed 4th here in the center of the map. A very aggressive 4th base, I should reiterate as well, as it is quite far forward. We'll see if Elazer can make use of it, as he is taking up and throwing down the Roach Warren behind us.
Yeah, I'm looking at that Roach Warren light. I'm looking at that 4th base location, and all I can think of is how good it is as a launch pad.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good launch pad to commit into aggression, but we'll see. As the Lings, they do get us around, but the Oracles are here to support. Despite the fact that the Oracles are quite low, they do support the army. They do force back all those Lings, and once again, we chip away at that 4th base. We at least keep all these Adepts alive.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with Gerald here. He did get his third base delayed by quite a lot, but we look at the actual units lost tab, he's only lost 2 probes, or rather, the only things that were killed were 2 probes throughout the entirety of this game.
Oh. Yeah, exactly, and he gets even more efficiency here as he dives on the drones. The Queens are out of position, by the way. The Lings, they do go for the dive. Adepts, they get surrounded, but it looks like we do have a shade to get them all the hell out of there.
Yeah, 1 or 2 Adepts will go down, but again, this is just a very, very efficient trade here for Gerald. He's starting to run out of Oracle energy, so he can't really keep this up for too much longer, but hey, that's definitely one way of getting back into this game economically.
Oh yeah, looking at the units lost tab, you can see it was 6 Adepts for 8 drones for 37-38 now Lings, so very efficient trades. And now we're done with the Adepts, we're transitioning into Stalkers. Blink is done, +1 also done.
And now, all of a sudden, Gerald is a player who, well, I don't want to say he has absolute map control right now, but there's a lot of potential for him right now.
Oh yeah, and he's gaining that map control. He's shutting down all these Overlords, he's shutting down all those Lings, and we do see Elazer droning. He isn't just taking his 4th, he's taking his 5th base, he's taking up into an infestation pit, he's transitioning away, or he's, again, just focusing on taking up in towards Hive Tech. We'll see if we can hold on to this space, though, as the Stalkers are here to threaten him, but that's a lot of Lings.
A lot of Lings. Enough to really surround all of these Stalkers and, even catch up if they try to blink away.
Exactly, so Gerald has to respect them, he backs off. Lings are out of position though, some of them are going to be racing back home, but this base is looking very exposed. Oh.
Very much so, the base might survive, but that Queen definitely won't, and actually the base isn't going to survive, as it will get cancelled. Very important delay here for Elazer. All of the Lings are starting to turn around, but that's a beautiful stasis ward, catching just about half of all of Elazer's forces.
There we go. The Lings, they get shut down. We did delay the base. We get a kill on another Stalker, sorry, on another one of those Queens. We did not cancel that 5th base for a second time, but we are trading very well here against the Lings. The Oracle comes in to support as well. We should be activating that beam, and more Lings are being forced back.
Just like so. I was very worried for a second of that stasis ward coming off of cooldown and surrounding Gerald, but 'twas not to be. 5th base will get delayed a second time, as Elazer's forces are very, very distracted by a Zealot run by.
Oh, exactly. The Zealots, they were initially trying to go for the mineral line, but they were dragged off of the mineral line to chase off those Lings and Roaches instead. But as you were saying, at least we did deny the base. Meanwhile, the Oracles, they go for another dive here, and it looks like an Oracle goes down, but we snipe a Queen.
Just like so. A very high energy queen at that, so not a bad trait here for Gerald at all. Elazer will get a 5th base up and running though, and Gerald did get eyes on that, but yeah, it looks like he doesn't quite have enough supply to really deal with it effectively. 3 Zealots, I'm going to put the hurt on it, but I don't think Elazer should have too much trouble dealing with that.
Yeah, really, that's distracting. I mean, the entire army does turn back to deal with these Zealots at the same time. Stalkers, ooh, that was a kill. That was a kill, not a cancel on that hatchery here. So again, the attention of Elazer is being pulled apart. 300 minerals down the drain, but he has been teching. Hive is done, +3 attack, and Adrenal is on the way here for those lings.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the scariest thing you can face in the late game when you only have Stalkers and maybe a couple of Zealots. Gerald, compared to the tech of Elazer, is very, very far behind. He's relying entirely on his tier 2 gateway units. Now he throws down the Templar Archives.
Yeah, so because that storm is late, right, Archon production is going to be delayed as well. Like, it's really risky right now how Geralt is playing as he's losing map control, and Elazer is maxed. He's maxed out on Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager, and Geralt has to take a more defensive stance here back at home instead.
Yeah, it's what he really needs to do. No stasis wards are in place, however, which is very, very worrisome, especially against all of these Banelings. Beautiful force field will be preventing the Banelings from connecting with the mineral line. A couple of them will slip through, and a lot of Lings are starting to surround these Stalkers. This base is forfeit.
Yeah, and we do see a lot of probes going down as a result. At the same time, we did have a push here on the right-hand side. The mineral line is exposed, and more workers going to be going down. That's going to be a kill on the central base, and 24 probes going down, and we're chasing down what little that was left.
Elazer, he had to survive for so long. He had to defend against so much harass, but now he has reached his final form. This is pretty much game-ending damage right here for Gerald.
Yeah, his economy is crippled. He lost everything. He was so close to defending. As you mentioned, like, it was some really good force fields, really good warp in, really good positioning here on this base, but it still was not enough to hold on, and now Geralt is miles behind. Again, you can see that just at the flip of a switch, things can very quickly swing from favor of one player straight into another.
Yeah, just like so. These oracles flying around trying to get something done. Massive Ling run by will be able to, well, try to get a couple more mineral kills. Thankfully, a very quick warp in of Zealots will be chasing them away. They are not helpful, though, against the onslaught of Roaches that are chasing down the rest of Geralt's army.
Yeah, the Roach Ravager gets in top of the third base. We do have the Lings rolling in towards that fourth as well as we do crash in. Probe's going to be falling left and right. And again, Elazer, he has broken his opponent. It was a back and forth. Geralt, he had his moments in this game, but eventually Elazer snowballed out of control. GG gets called, and Elazer will take game number 1.
GG. Nicely done here. And I think that's something that's really important to keep in mind. As you said, there was a very big back and forth. In fact, I feel like for the most part, Geralt was doing a little bit better when it came to trading efficiently, when it came to micro and whatnot. The key difference, Elazer was thinking long-term. He threw down his infestation pit in like 7 minutes, 30 seconds. He got his hive at something like 9 minutes or something like that. Geralt, on the other hand, only after the 10-minute mark did he throw down that Templar Archive. So while he was doing a really good job of trading efficiently, while he was microing his heart out, while he was harassing very, very well, Elazer was thinking more long term. He knew that he could afford to, try to. He knew he could afford to get his bases denied as long as he defends and as long as he gets his hive up and running.
Exactly. That's a really good way to put it, Yaku, where, again, Elazer, he was thinking of a longer-term solution here to the problem of Geralt, and Geralt was there in the now and was achieving a lot, but was outscaled. Over time, he was outscaled by his opponent, and Elazer snowballed out of control. Maybe Geralt just a little bit too tunnel vision and hyper-fixated on his aggression. He was doing damage, but he wasn't doing game-ending damage. He wasn't killing Elazer. That was the problem. He was playing very committed, very all-in almost. And with that, Elazer does hold on. He does fight back. He does take game number 1. But what I'm excited about is that was still a pretty close game. And
very much so, yeah.
I'm hoping for a back and forth.
Yeah, I definitely think that there were moments in that game where if Geralt maybe was a little bit more aggressive, if Elazer was looking away for even just one split second, we would have seen a very different result. I think Gerald would have been able to carry that momentum all the way into a victory, but Elazer was really on the ball that game, and so he was able to survive into the late game where he was really able to overwhelm his Protoss opponent.
Exactly, 100%. And we'll see if we can do that again as we load into a much larger map. The rush distance by ground is quite longer here on Alcyone. Longer rush distance, a lot of bases to be taken, even a cheeky goal base that we could try to rush into as well, either from the side of the Zerg or even from the side of the Protoss. So there's a lot of different features of the map that we can make use of.
Yeah. And also, it looks a bit like a frog. As we load in to game number 2 here on Alcyone, here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right. We of course have our blue Protoss player coming down from the land of Poland. He's going to be representing Storm Gaming PSG, not Paris Saint-Germain. Storm Gaming. He is Gerald.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player representing Team Liquid, the best Zerg player in all of Poland. It is Elazer. One more. Unomas is all he needs. And I like how Yako, I'm talking about like, oh, there's a gold base, there's a long rush, this is, yo, it's crazy. And you're like, it is crazy. Mate, it also looks like a frog.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
not sure what more I had to add. Yeah. Gangnam Zerg is coming down. Unfortunately for Elazer, this does get scouted pretty much immediately by Gerald.
Yeah, exactly. We spoke about the goal base and how Zerg players or players in general can rush into them, and we have seen Elazer, he has rushed into that goal base very quickly here, as he has been known to do. As you mentioned, very important that Gerald was so quick to scout. Gerald, he's fully aware of what's going on. We'll see what his response is going to be. We have seen that actually players like Hero and Classic, whenever they do see this, because Dark does this quite often in the Korean scene, they would actually delay. Yeah, they would actually delay their expansion and go gateway into Forge and cannon rush. They would cannon rush this position, force a cancel, and then we get into a longer like standard game from there. But Geralt has opted to go for a different reaction instead.
Yeah, doing something a lot more normal. This could, of course, still lead into a bit of an aggressive counter push. Maybe something with Stalkers or with Zealots, or hell, even Adepts would be very effective. But yeah, it's an interesting how the responses do differ.
Oh yeah, from region to region, and we'll see what the response is going to be. This makes sense. It's going to be a Twilight Council. Twilight Council opener. This should be Glaive Adepts, and the power of Glaive Adepts in this position is that you could threaten the gold, or you could threaten the main base, right? It's like we're caught in a really awkward position where our bases are very much so spread apart, and Geralt can pick and choose where to push.
Yeah, he's got options. Especially with that debris getting knocked down by Elazer. There's definitely a lot of potential to threaten this gold base going back and forth behind the mineral wall and whatnot.
Exactly. On the flip side, it's very important here for Elazer to spread his creep and connect his bases. He needs to make it that much easier here to defend both the gold and the natural. Sorry, the gold and the main. It's also quite common here to see a spine crawler, an early spine crawler here in the gold base just to secure this position. As we're soon about to find out the tick of choice here. We have stayed in gas, by the way, from the side of Gerald. So what is our plan?
Yes! Beautiful choice here coming out from Geralt. You know what? When you take it a gold base, you're not thinking of DTs coming in to mess up your day.
True. There we go. It's going to be a DT opener instead. We have not pulled out of gas, so Dark Templar going to be on the horizon. This is a good way to harass these mineral lines. There is a spore at the gold, to be fair, but what about the main, and what about the would-be natural base as well? There are other options to harass. Likewise, these DTs can also be morphed into Archons, and we can find some other value from them in that way as well.
Yeah, oh, the possibilities here for Geralt. They are endless. He could even group together his DTs, and if Elazer isn't quick enough to body block, that spore can go down, and there will be zero detection there. And they're still there, so no Overseer potential. Elazer is making use of that gold though, so he is getting he is teching up into roaches fairly quickly, but what are roaches gonna do if they can't detect the DTs?
True. That's another really important thing about this position is one, because we've taken the goal base, this is not for a standard game. This is not for a long game. Like Elazer, I'm pretty sure he's planning to go all in. Like he's taking additional gases here. He's rushing into that roach horn, and we're going for a big Ling roach all in. I imagine we're already going to be denying the space, but there's no lair. It's a lair tech push. It's a lair tech based aggression here from our Zerg player, which means there is no mobile detection, means we can even use DTs defensively back at home.
Yeah. Really good defense. They can even body block in that natural base. Gerald, though, has kind of revealed his hand in the one base that there was detection at.
Yeah, there was already a Spore Crawler here at the goal. DT is going to be rotating over towards the main base, and the main base is also one Spore. There's no Spore here in between at that natural base location. Gerald is going to find out the hard way. At the same time, though, Lings, they do get a kill on the Cyber Core. Very big pick off here. We do get a snipe on the tech. Meanwhile, Elazer still hasn't droned. He's still cutting workers at 38. He's spreading creep across the map. Again, it does seem like Elazer wants to commit to aggression here, as DTs are going to be getting some value in between the bases.
Yeah, once again, no detection just yet. No Spore Crawlers here, and still no lair. So Elazer has to be very active when it comes to defending. He's not going to be able to send his Lings across the map, not going to be able to harass. So, you know, while Gerald didn't really get much damage done, he does at least secure map control.
Yes, and he's forcing a longer game. Elazer knows he cannot push. He is now droning. He's now droning up back at home. He's working towards that lair, as you mentioned, to start working towards mobile detection, and then he can move out. And this allows Gerald to actually expand and take a base back at home. Likewise, he's still harassing in the center of the map, still with Dark Templar of all things. Gonna be chipping away at the tumors and maybe threatening some of the army as well, at least until Overseers arrive.
Hey, you know what? This is something you can do when you have an Observer and your opponent doesn't have Overseers yet.
Yeah, true. Oh god!
Well, had an Observer.
Yeah, a bit of an overextension there from Geralt. A bit of a mistake as the Observer does get knocked down. Meanwhile, we have Overlord's speed in production. Overseers are now soon to be on the way with the completion of this lair. And Geralt, can he survive the aggression? Can he survive the push? We're building up a Chargelot Archon Immortal-based army. Is it going to be enough? As Elazer is still building up. He does squeeze out a couple of drones here and there, but he is mainly focused on building up his army.
Yeah, slowly but surely. Again, Lair only finished up about half a minute ago, so Galau Reconstitution not here just yet. Once it's done, though, there's practically going to be nothing holding back these roaches from just going across the map. And you know, some good target firing can make very short work of these Archons. Immortals, so a bit of a different story.
Yeah, the Immortals are going to be a bit of a problem as Geralt is pushing. He does actually go through these minerals. He's pushing on the right-hand side a little bit more undetected here. The Protoss player is. Elazer has some decent creep, though. Decent creep here on the right-hand side. He does spot the army, and he's got a lot of roaches to work with.
Whole lot of them. If they can get one good concave, then this army of Geralt is going to be in a lot of trouble. Chargelets will be doing a really good job of buffering, though.
They do. At the same time, Zealous, they do get into the middle line. Queens are there. Whole position. Drones as well, forcing some really awkward SimCity and movement out of those Zealots. Meanwhile, the Immortals, they are exposed. They're exposed to the roaches.
Yeah, they're exposed to the roaches. The drones actually doing a really good job of buffering for these roaches as well. A couple of drones are about to take out an Immortal. Middle line goes down here, and Geralt still has a couple of Archons. Had a couple of Archons. Still has 2 Immortals.
And again, oh god, the Prism! Prism takes a lot of damage as well, but we should be able to escape just in time. And again, Geralt, he was so committed to that. He was expecting his opponent to be maybe a little bit more greedy, but again, Elazer, he had cut workers. He's only at 54. He made a massive amount of roaches. He was ready for a push, even killed another Immortal.
Just like so. Decent damage on that mineral line, but a very expensive move out here for Geralt, and now he has practically nothing to defend against a counterattack from Elazer.
Yeah, he's got 1 Immortal that he's saved. He's got a Disruptor. Disruptors, they're the great equalizer. There's potential there, but honestly, even if we get 1 juicy connection, it may just not be enough here for Geralt. He's shocking around for it, though. He's hoping to find the army a little bit more caught off guard, but Elazer, he's pushing.
He is pushing. He is looking to end it right here, right now. Purification Nova does get dodged by all of these roaches, and that's a massive wave. They are coming in from every single angle. Another Purification Nova that doesn't connect with anything at all.
Yeah, we collapse on this position. We have DTs that are going ham. That is true, but it doesn't matter because the army is being broken. We're pushing towards the mineral line as well. Overseers are on the way. There's no detection here. We have broken the third.
Broken the third. Pretty soon going to be breaking the natural. Pretty soon going to be breaking this game. Question mark. GG is called, and Elazer will be taking that series 2-0, showing they still got it. GG, very solid here in game number 2 from Elazer. Game number 1 was very, very close, and Elazer took that personally. Game number 2, yeah, definitely a little bit more Elazer favorite, to say the least.
Yeah, you can see how quickly things can snowball in favor of the Zerg if they rush into that gold, right? That gold was not punished. It was not punished whatsoever. Elazer was able to make full use of it. And which means it does come down to the opener. The DT opener was lackluster. Had potential, had a lot of potential, but it was a shame that the DTs went straight for the gold. Just happened to be a place where there wasn't just a spore crawler, but also 3 queens as well, body blocking that spore crawler. Elazer was perfectly fine. He deflected the initial DTs, and they just didn't deal the damage that we needed them to make a series out of that, to make a game out of that.
Yeah, not quite, unfortunately. Again, if a few things went differently, you know, if those DTs showed up in the main base, for instance, as opposed to the gold base, then we would have seen a much different story. But unfortunately, Gerald had a choice to make, and it was 50-50 on whether it was the right choice or not.
Yeah, exactly. So unfortunate that did occur, and with that, we will not get an ace match. That's a 2-0 here in favor of Elazer. And again, Elazer, he was the favored player. You know, he's one to make it far in this tournament, and Gerald was unable to stop him here. But game 1 was really impressive. You know, game 2 was more one-sided just because of the openers, but game 1 was back and forth, and I do hope that Gerald can potentially even have a rematch if he's able to work his way through the lower bracket.
Yeah, potentially, as we actually have an update here. Looks like Spirit did take out Papi 1-0 in the lower bracket quarterfinals, so it's going to be waiting in that semi-finals for either Gerald or Mishu.
There you go. Mishu. Yeah, my condolences to Papi. Like, he did well for himself. He actually knocked out Nurchio in that lower bracket, when but did go down to Spirit in the end. So my condolences to Papi that we weren't able to see him on the main stage. Meanwhile, we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have the upper bracket finals: Elazer versus Christianer, not Spirit, up next.
Yeah, very different ZvP on our hands. We'll see you then.